Hello. Well, it's a bright, sunny day in Pennsylvania. No more freezing cold temperature and broken pipes. Our house is in the process of getting estimations. They're going to take out at least 7 walls, lots of floor, and we're doing okay. So I thank God that I moved all my fiber stuff. None of my photographs from when my kids were growing up and all that, none of that got damaged. Would you believe that I don't have a wedding photo? When I married my husband in 2000, I just wanted it to be really quiet and small. It was Christmas Eve. I actually worked that day at the medical office, and I told my husband, I'll take care of everything. You just come and bring your camera. Couldn't have been any easier. People didn't have cell phones and snapping pictures. And we only invited a few people. It was the second marriage for both of us. And I really didn't know where some people in the family were with their emotions. And I didn't want my happy day to be busted by looking down and seeing somebody's unhappy face. So I said, just bring yourself and your camera. It actually took place right down from my husband's house. I lived about 50 minutes away or so, back lots and lots of country roads. So my husband passed his camera around, and there were lots of pictures taken. Ready for this? There's no film in his camera. So I don't have a wedding picture. I have pictures of us far away, but you really can't see us. So it's all in here. And as we were saying our vows, it began to snow, these big fat snowflakes. We were out in a little country church. We slid the whole way home, but it really was beautiful. And so I have wonderful memories. So here we are again with lots of great things, lots of pretty things to show you, some ideas to kick around and things like that. So I wanted to start out by saying that I really like the podcast Meanwhile Back at the Castle, and I love to listen to Deborah and Emily. And I know that Deborah's daughter was getting married, and I told her that I would pray that everything went smoothly. And at that point, I didn't want to share with her what happened when my daughter got married. I have 3 boys and 1 girl, and it's like one of my partners said, you can't even use what you learned because you don't have another daughter to use this information. A lot of things went wrong, so many things. And at the end, I told my daughter, I think this is just lessons for life. The venue where we were going to have it called with like 2 weeks to go and left a message saying, because you never return our phone calls and we can't reach you, if we don't hear from you by the end of the day, we're canceling. Well, that was just preposterous. That man was lying because he had my phone number, he had the office number. I mean, I was one of the easiest people in town to reach. And when I called the owner, she said, well, he's on vacation. And immediately he calls me, oh, it's a small misunderstanding, just forget about it. And I'm like, no, I'm not, because suppose we had been away, or, planning a wedding is so stressful. We had even talked about taking a vacation. Suppose we had done that and come back to have the wedding and find out it had been canceled. So we decided to have it in our backyard, nice big spacious space. My daughter had this Hawaiian theme, and she was expecting, and she was exhausted all the time. She'd come over to plan the wedding and say, Mom, can I go lay down in your bed? Mom, I gotta go lay down. She got the first ultrasound and had this handful of all these ultrasound pictures, and I'm wondering why? Like, I thought you just got 1 or maybe 2. Twins, 2 heads, 2 heads, 2 turtle signs. If anybody knows what the turtle sign is, if you get an ultrasound and it looks like a little round circle, and then that's the baby's genitals, and a turtle sign means boys. So she's exhausted. Even on her wedding day, she came over and said, Mom, can I go lay in your bed? Sure. So she ordered her dress from Hawaii. It was a man that hand stitches the dresses. Today they call him a sewist. You know the word sewer. It sounds like sewer when you look at it. So it's no longer really seamstress. But anyway, so she ordered a Hawaiian print, a white dress. And we thought we would be savvy and tell him that the wedding was a month early. That way everything would be covered. Her husband-to-be also ordered a shirt with a Hawaiian print. It was white. And when it arrived, he said, here, Catherine, why don't you keep this because I don't want to lose it. Okay. The dress never came. The credit card company, because I was ordering all these things, we decided instead of a photographer, we would each get a really expensive camera, and that would be something we'd have for years, and we could pass the cameras around. Well, the credit card company viewed these as suspicious purchases, and somehow I didn't get notified by them. So all the things I was ordering were getting canceled. Finally, I found that out. We resent all the invitations out, and there were relative issues, relationship issues, up until the very last moment when she walked into the yard under the floral garland. My mom and my husband's sister put all the flowers on the trellis for me, and I have had some training in floral arrangement, and I just wanted to make it a little bit nicer, just tweak it. And they got offended and said, oh, it wasn't good enough for her. And so there were bad feelings. And so anyway, it got time to be for the wedding, get my daughter out of bed and dressed, and couldn't find her husband-to-be shirt anywhere. Turned over the house. Got my mom's sister worked up because she came over and helped me clean, and she thought she misplaced it, and she thought I was blaming her. And we had this catering company, and because it was Labor Day weekend, they said, well, we can't really give you any. Say, oh, that's okay. I had no idea of the magnitude of that. We have a long back porch, and I spent almost all my time switching trays. And people came in and said, I need this, I need that, and I, other than the wedding ceremony, barely got out. My mother came in, she cut her finger. I was stressed about something else. She thought I didn't care, and she got upset. Oh, good grief. My husband owned one Hawaiian shirt, but he rarely used it, if ever. And so we decided we would grab that for the groom, and wouldn't you know, my husband had worn it the day before, and it was in the laundry. So I had to deal with this wrinkled shirt and try to get it ready. My daughter had scrambled and bought another dress. There was a cute little kitten in the neighborhood. I don't know who he belonged to, but he was running around knocking over all the things on our tables, and it just got worse. During the ceremony, my daughter never even smiled. And I said to her later, you didn't even smile. And she goes, well, the minister told us that this is solemn, this is serious. He doesn't want anything funny going on. She was afraid to actually show her joy. And it just kept going. I certainly wasn't going to tell Deborah any of that. But I did tell her and her husband, this is just training for life. You're going to have lots of problems. This, in retrospect, this will all seem like nothing. So, the Skyping beanie. And you know, up to this point, I haven't shown you anything that wasn't finished. And I've already told you, I hate the terms FO and UFO and no. So anyway, not finished yet. The Skyping beanie. I'm doing this with cotton merino. It's a Cadia concept yarn. I like it a lot, and I really like the pattern it makes. They call for a big needle, and I really was afraid it was going to be way too big, so I went down on needle size. I'm now ready to do decreases. And I wanted to show you something that that one of the ladies that comes in a lot, and she comes every Wednesday to Woolly Wednesday. We call it UEWE, you and me time. And she used this yarn to make a vest out of one of the Katia books. Isn't that pretty? She is very, very happy with it. That's Nancy. And she got 35 comments. I've noticed most of the comments that we get on Facebook is this lady wrote, I made a vest once and we ended up using it for a dust cloth. I'll stick to my counted cross stitch. Oh my goodness gracious. Wow. She was kind of like on the fence about that yarn, not sure that it was going to look right, but she was really, really happy with it. And just as a little stress reliever here, and hi, I wanted to show you this little how to deal with stress at work. It's a puppy dog, just like my puppy dog. Oh. So, on with the show. Do any of you do things for the house like dishcloths? And because I was reading that the #1 item is shawls, and that by the time you get down to household products, it's like a few percent, maybe 4% or under. Ladies used to, everything was for the house, and now it's almost nothing. And I mean, people really aren't coming in and saying they want to make pillows or blankets. It's mostly things for themselves. This is done with a Lion brand Cotton Ease, which is no longer made. This is called Basket Rib Dishcloth. And I'm happy with it, the way it turned out. Since it has some acrylic in it, I really want to see if it has good, absorbency. Because some companies say, yeah, but I'm a little bit, I'm not sure about it. So that is that. And then as far as dishcloths, I found a stitch called Blossom Stitch. It's crocheted. And of course, with the variegated yarn, you really can't see the stitch. It wasn't any specific pattern. I just did the stitch and put a little single crochet edging. Do you like your dishcloths large or do you like them small? My mom, who doesn't knit or crochet, said, you know, I think knitted dishcloths get smelly. And one of the older gals, Martha, came in here and said, do your dishcloths get sour smelling? And I think she soaks them in bleach. I know you can immerse them in hot water, kind of, I don't want to use the word wrench. What's the word? Squeeze them out. Put them in your microwave and turn the heat on, and it destroys bacteria. So, interesting question. Do your dishcloths get sour? That was done with Phoenix cotton yarn. Okay, I had talked about Ella Rae Lace Merino, and this is one of their pay-for patterns. This is the Lace Merino, which is a fingering weight yarn in a variegated color. It's kind of a skinny scarf. You know, things have fads. They're skinny and then they're fat. And then when they're fat, you feel funny when you have a skinny scarf. But even though it has an edging, it does have a lot of curl. So I'm going to block it and see if that helps. And then I'll show it to you again. And this is the paper pattern. It's called the Wave Pattern Scarf. So you will be seeing that again. So how do you like your scarves? Do you like your scarves wide? Do you like your scarves thin? And what about the infinity scarf? Are people just going back to regular scarves now? When the infinity scarf first came out, they were so hot. And I knew people that were sewing and making lots and lots of money because everybody wanted these infinity scarves. Now I'm not seeing them. I'm not seeing them so much. Wanted to have a little segment where I talk about, that's my husband, where I talk about notions. And if you have not discovered highlighter tape, it's wonderful. Comes in the colors that highlighters come in. You tear off a piece, you put it under the row you're on, and then you can pick it up and move it. And then when I'm done with that pattern, I throw that away and get another piece. So for under $6, you get, it says 720 inches. That's a lot of inches. It has saved me from making so many mistakes by keeping me focused on where I am. So that's my little notion tip of the day. Okay, how about a little crochet? This is a Michelle Du N-A-I-E-R, I think, pattern called First Love Shawl. Pretty. You could make it bigger. You could keep going. One of the ladies, hi, come on in. How are you? Let me turn this off. I was doing